Norway, I love the shit out of you. I love the shit out of you for the fact that you've given me such amazingly wonderful metal things, like Burzum and Emperor. I mean, where the fuck would I be as a metalhead without this? Hell, where would the world of metal be without such bands? Hey, oh, can't forget Immortal. Immortal definitely high on that fucking list. I mean, you should be thanked for doing such a thing, but now you're going to be a trailblazer yet again in my eyes for offering up video games as an elective course within public schools. Now granted, it's only one school, but this is the start of something, and apparently going from doing a little bit of reading, there's other schools throughout Europe who've dabbled in such an idea. So eSports is now going to be part of the curriculum of physical education within schools. Now granted, it's an elective course, so this isn't outright replacing anything having to do with your physical education, so you're not going to be able to just opt out of doing, you know, everything that's a part of gym class and be like, I'm just going to go and play some fucking video games. No, this is essentially for anybody who's just serious business about trying to go and become a major esport contender. Now, as anybody has known, esports has kind of blossomed and blown up and become a lot bigger over the years and has been taken serious as being a contender within the world of actual sports. I mean, first we had just regular ass sports such as like football, baseball, hockey, basketball, and all that shit, and then you had extreme sports. Now you have esports. So it just begins to expand and grow ever so more. So this is now something that's going to be taught within school. I found that to be fascinating. They have a dedicated area, and it will be happening this August. So August of this year, they will have a dedicated section within a school in Norway that's going to be lined up with shit tons of gaming PCs, all to the fucking nines with some of the best tech, best hardware, best pieces of fucking gaming goodness that you could want out of your gaming rig, all set up for you to go and play on. Now, they did go and stress that they want this to be a little bit more than just going and playing video games and having yourself a grand old time. This is supposed to be like an exercise in teaching all the students about communication, about how to go about, you know, forming a group and forging on ahead and really focusing your efforts on something, about your reaction to shit, about your attention to detail, about understanding the mechanics of the game, the entire foundation of game, a whole bunch of shit. So it isn't supposed to be just about one thing and just getting good at the game and that's really it. They haven't also said who they planned on teaching within any of these courses, which is going to be interesting to see who they go and handpick. Obviously, they're not going to pick just a random-ass fucking teacher to go and thumb through a whole bunch of fucking wiki pages and be like, this. Because they'll look like idiots. So, who they pick, that could be interesting, just a tad bit. Now, they did name-drop a couple games. Dota 2, Counter-Strike, and League of Legends. Now, I'm not surprised by any of those names because those are amongst many different titles out there that are part of the most highly competitive games out there in the world. On PC and just everywhere and anywhere. Doesn't matter what corner of the earth that you're in, the spinning little fucking mud ball of bullshit that we call home in this galaxy, those are some of the go-to games. Now, I can imagine that it won't be exclusive to this. I can imagine that they'll go and jump on the bandwagon of other games, so they'll have to be careful just considering that they then have to drag in the rating system to see what's going to be allowed to exist within a public school system, because obviously certain things would make people upset if they turned up in there, but then again, I mean, this is Europe, so will they be a little bit more lenient on it? I'm not 100% on that because I've never gone to school in fucking Europe, so how the hell would I know? But this makes me wonder, will we see this over here in North America? Will we see this go and start cropping up in more places within Europe? Again, more places even in Norway. You know, we have one school doing this, but as I had read, this isn't the first time that this has happened. So could this be the beginning of bigger things? You know, it's amazing because I was going and reading up on esports just recently because of the whole MLG and Activision thing that was going on. And then I stumbled across this news story, and I just found this to be fascinating because this is a sign of the times. You know, this goes to show you how the course of history is changing and evolving and how video games are becoming more and more widely accepted as being just the mainstream. you know. But if I see something like this being done, I just want to see them go all out with other shit. I mean, we've had music class for years and years now, but I want to see like a filmmaking class. I know that they have video game design classes within certain schools. I don't know if it's just privatized schools that allow such a thing, but then again, the education system is so fucked in many ways, and they can hardly ever get the proper funding to afford things such as fucking books, let alone actually keep the goddamn lights on within the buildings. So who the hell knows if we're able to go and see stuff like this as a constant factor everywhere and anywhere with, maybe the Powerball winner could help with that. That shit won. That was just mind-blowing. But I think that it's just fascinating. And I just hope that more and more things within the entertainment industry end up bleeding off into school, because these are things that we all know and love and accept in our everyday lives outside of school. So why not get an education on... You figure there's schools that are designed just to go and tackle the subject matter of this exclusively. Why not go and do it in something like that? I mean, I think it personally makes sense. But eSports, not only becoming more and more accepted by people in the mainstream as being a legitimate sport, but now is something that your children could be educated on and could be considered as a real athlete. Within public schools, that's just... If you told me quite a few years ago that this would happen, I would assume that you're full of shit and you're fucking crazy, and then all of a sudden you hear over the intercom, medication time. Medication time. It's medication time. Then Danny DeVito comes over, and it's just Jack Nicholson and me. We go run around, steal a fucking bus, and do all... I hope that somebody is getting this goddamn reference. It's only one of his best fucking movies in the entire world. But this, I wanted to go and share this because I thought it was kind of cool, and also get everybody's take on this. Do you think this is something that you could see show up in other parts of the world? Do you think this is something just a one and done type deal, and that many schools around the country aren't ever going to be keen on this idea and are just going to give a big old fucking stiff middle finger right there to the entire concept and idea of it? Or this will just become the norm, and we'll see other things go and come into this. I personally would like to see an expansive amount of shit offered up to students that like this kind of shit, you know, because the core curriculum that we've known for generations now is always going to be important. You know, everybody's going to need some kind of shit within biology. Everybody's going to have to understand math. Everybody's going to have to understand reading and writing. Everybody's going to have to understand history. But this is optional shit that I think should be there because, I mean, these are big parts of industries that everybody's invested in. So it makes sense. And the schools could possibly end up doing pretty well for themselves if they decide to go and do this kind of shit. Now, whether or not we're going to be seeing some shit like Splatterhouse played inside there, you know, I don't see that happen. Again, that's not really a fucking competitive game unless you're going for a time attack, maybe, possibly. No death run type shit. That'd be kind of cool, but who the fuck knows. Anyway, this is AlphaOmegaSin, as always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers game. The fuck off!